talk about moving a lot. We talk about physical activity a lot. And sometimes when we train teachers or speak at conferences, people don't hear moving or physicality, they hear sports. It's important to understand that what we do is not about sports. Sport's great, but it isn't for everybody. But physical activity and physical fitness are for everybody because we all have bodies and our brains need our bodies to learn how to operate in the world. Whether it's to understand how big the body is, where it ends and begins, how to use it to move a pencil across a page, sit still with comfort, or keep up with friends on the playground, we all have brains that need our bodies. And the brain also needs the body to lay essential neural wiring that helps us manage our self-regulation and self-control. In other words, behavior. The sad thing is that there has been a national decline in physical activity and physical fitness that crosses every race, every religion, and every socioeconomic background, and it has had a direct impact on our children's academic success. As humans, we need strong bodies and a well-developed connection between the body and the brain to find classroom and ultimately personal success. For children, this is all fueled by big body, physical play, and movement. The fact is, kids today are lacking in the practice of moving their bodies, which makes moving no fun. When moving isn't fun, then kids don't do it. Ultimately, this leads to a downward spiral into more sedentary behaviors, making moving even more challenging. But when kids have ample opportunities to move their bodies and practice what their bodies can do, then their brains learn how to use their bodies to perform in school, making school easier and more fun. So our curriculum and our certification both focus on moving for fun so that we can help children learn to move their bodies with confidence while secretly building strengths, skills, and movement patterns that they need for success and for school. And the beauty is, when we get kids moving, we are tapping into something they already innately crave. And how do we know? Well, you open the door to your classroom, you open the gate to the playground, you open the door to the gym, and what do? They take off running, but they also take off screaming in delight. This is Mother Nature's way of telling their bodies to move to fuel appropriate brain development. Their brains need their bodies, and their brains need their bodies to move. Here's the rub. We know that in the first 5 years of life, the brain grows faster than it grows at any other time in life. In those first 5 years, 90% of brain growth happens. The brain growth happens with new experiences, and every new experience builds a new pathway in the brain. As children grow, learn more, and experience more, and explore more, these new experiences happen over and over and over, each one making a new connection, laying new neural wiring, and ultimately growing young brains. Now consider this. The vast majority of young children's experiences are physical, and most of those physical experiences are motor-based. So if children aren't moving, their brains are not growing. Let's be clear. Children have to move to learn. As a species, humans gain fundamental locomotor movements in early childhood. And the more we get to practice those movements, the stronger and more confident we become in those movements. That fuels a desire for us to hone that movement and explore other movements or build new movements off of that first movement. The more we do this, the more physically literate we become as we explore, build a skill, gain confidence in that skill, and fuel a desire to further perpetuate or build off of that skill. And the parallels with academic literacy are pretty clear. A child who masters letters and phonics gains the confidence to tackle a beginning reader, a chapter book, and eventually a full-blown novel. And when children fall behind in letters and phonics, then they don't gain that confidence, and when it's repeated over and over, again, they lose interest in reading. And the same thing happens with physical skills. Children who don't gain core strength or master balance aren't going to gain the confidence to cross the monkey bars or climb the ladder to the slide. And after a while, they will stop playing. They will begin to lose interest in play, and they become those children who sit out on the sidelines during recess and PE. The thing is, when they're sitting out during recess and PE, their peers are gaining strengths and skills over and over again while they flatline in their skill development. Not only is this a health concern, the brain is not wiring appropriately through lack of movement. It boils down to this. When we give children enough time to move, we give their brains what their brains need automatically and innately. If we don't give them enough time to move, then it's like giving them half of what they need to be successful in school. Half of a pencil, half of a book, half of a desk, half of an equation, and expecting them to be successful. It's not fair and it's not possible. So it's time for us to break the cycle and close the gap and get kids on a trajectory that sets them up for a happy school experience rooted in developmentally appropriate big body physical play. If you want to learn more about Pivot to Play, check us out at pivottoplay.com.